What is up, guys, and welcome to another tutorial. So today's tutorial is the colour splash effect, and I have a quick before and after for you here. I went with a picture of some strawberries, which is a tad weird, but yeah, it kind of worked, and it was a pretty cool picture to do it with. So yeah, obviously that's the before and that's the after. Originally the colour splash effect is done with a black and white background, so the strawberries you see in the background would be black and white, but I kind of prefer it when they're just on a lower opacity. If you want to go with black and white, that's something you'll be able to do in this tutorial, that's fine, but I just prefer it with a tad bit of colour. So I'm literally going to jump straight into it because this effect is really easy to do. So yeah, open up Photoshop, go ahead, open up your image, and what you're going to want to do is duplicate this image twice. So hit Control J on your keyboard. If you're on a Mac, it will be Command J. So yeah, and then you should be left with the three images, the three layers, even like this. So you're going to want to turn your background into an actual layer. So if you highlight that and double click it, you should get this little pop-up, and then just hit OK, and that'll turn it into a layer, and we can get to work. So we're going to go ahead, turn that layer off quickly, and we're going to work on these two for now. So this one here, I'm going to completely desaturate, and I'm going to do that by hitting Control Shift and U, and that's going to completely desaturate it. Again, if you're on a Mac, it'll be Command Shift and U. If that didn't work for some reason, you can always head to Image, Adjustments, and Hue and Saturation, and then just drag the saturation all the way down. It works exactly the same. And once you've done that, you should see this image goes to black and white. If I just turn the foreground one off, you can see it goes to black and white. And now it's just a really simple eraser job. There is a bunch of selection methods you can use to select the certain strawberry you want to be the brighter colour than the rest, but honestly, just the eraser is probably the easiest way to go about it. And the good thing about the eraser is the more time you spend with it, the better it's going to look. So the more time you take on your image, the better it's going to look. What I would suggest is keeping your eraser on around about a 75% hardness, just so there's a little bit of blur to the edges, and it just kind of blends a bit more. So again, I'm going to go with the same strawberry as last time, and I'm just going to erase the rest of the image. So I'm going to go around and make a really rough selection. Again, hopefully you guys will take a lot more time on this, but as I've already done it, I'm just kind of doing this for tutorial purposes. And yeah, one thing I've noticed when I do tutorials is I talk really posh. I'm not actually that posh in real life at all. I'm from Southeast London, so when I say posh, I just mean I use big words which I would never use in day-to-day life, but screw it, it works. So yeah, just go around, make a really quick, well, you don't make a really quick selection, I'm going to go around, take your time, and erase all the colour you don't want to be in there. And I think that should do for me. Again, I've got a little tip to try and make it look a tad smoother if your selection isn't amazing, and I'll show you that in a minute. I'm just going to finish erasing the rest of this colour, like so. Oh god, that didn't work. If you make any mistakes and you need to go back, hit Control and Z on your keyboard, and that'll undo it. If you've made more than one mistake, hit Control Alt and Z, and that'll if you keep pressing that, it'll go back further and further. And again, if you're on a Mac, that's Command Alt and Z. So I should really get this rubbed out really quick. So, oh, for God's sake. So yeah, my little tip for trying to make it look a bit smoother and a bit of a better selection is to duplicate this layer. So Control J, then select the original, so this one, head to Filter, Blur, and Gaussian Blur, and blur it out by about 2.5 pixels. And all that's going to do is literally just blur the edges a tad. You can't even really notice it on this one, but it's going to blur the edges a tad and just make it blend in a tiny bit better. So yeah, if you're literally just here for the colour splash effect and that's all you wanted, then you're pretty much done. So yeah, thanks for watching. But if you want to go the full hog, then stick around. So I'm literally going to merge these two together. So I'm going to select the top one, hit Control E, and that's going to merge it down. I've got a bit of green there that I want to erase again, like so. Right, So with this, the background, I kind of want the opacity to, just be low instead of being completely desaturated. So what I mean is to have it like that as opposed to like that. If you want to go with a black and white background, then go ahead and delete this original layer, just completely get rid of it and stick with the black and white. But I'm literally just going to drag it above my black and white layer like so, and drop the opacity to about 25% just to keep a tiny bit of colour in there. And then again, with that layer selected, hit Control E to merge it down into the original. So to finish this image off, all I'm going to do is select our background, head to Filter, and I'm just going to add a bit of blur to the background, Radial Blur, and you should get sort of, I think originally it'll be on Spin and Draft. What I normally go for is Zoom. I whack the amount up to about 20, 25, obviously quality best, and you're going to want to try and find roughly where the strawberry is in your image, or whatever it is you're trying to colour splash. So it would be about there. Just a complete yes, I'd hit OK, and yeah, it's kind of there. If it's not, hit Control Z and then go back in and do it again, and it should have saved your last your last attempt, and you can just move it and alter it from there. But I'm literally just going to go with about there, like so. And that is almost done. One final thing I would do again is just merge that down. So select the top layer, Control E, is add a gradient map. So if you hit this little icon here, head to gradient map, select black and white. So just click on this and make sure that it's black and white, then hit OK. If you got some random colours, then you're going to need to change that back. So just hit that button there and it should change it back, and then you're going to want to switch it so it's black on white, and then head to your blending mode and switch it out to soft light, and then again just drop the opacity to take away from the depth a bit, and I'll stick with that. Yeah, and that is it. That's done. Obviously you don't have to do that, but I just think it adds something to the image, and that is it. So yeah, really quick tutorial. Well, when I say really quick, it's a fairly long tutorial considering how simple this is to do, but yeah. So let me know what you thought. If you like this video, leave it a like. It actually helps bump my video up in the viewing list, which I didn't know, so that'd be really cool. But other than that, yeah, peace. If you got any requests, leave them in the comment box and I will try and get to them. So yeah, peace.